Alright, I think I'm streaming now. Okay. Hello, this is the intro to Game Art Workshop. And since Mari's the only one here, I guess I'll just cater it more towards backgrounds. Even though I was gonna do that next week as well, so this week we're gonna start doing concept art. Yay. This is a pretty important topic because it's used for basically world building, like the world. It's used in a lot of like different media as well, kind of like in like movies or TV shows and novels, and of course video games. They all use a lot of concept art, which is basically used to like help your team understand what your world is going to look like and like the things in it and kind of how everything just interacts together. And other than that, it just looks really pretty. So yeah. So you can have NPCs in, so like, I'm just going to be going over like the different things that you might see in concept art stuff. So the first one is like NPCs. And the point here is not to have like faceless kind of like just random people, like that's fine, but I'm just talking about like the more important NPCs right now. And basically what they do is that they kind of like add to the game. They might have their own stories or whatnot, but they might not be important to like the main story, but like it's good for like flavor text, which is flavorful, right? That was an Undertale. That's not even an Undertale reference. That was a Delta rune. Wait, did you play it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, heck yes. Yeah. And it's basically just adding more ideas to the game. But yeah, it's sort of like Nefstablokur, this weird chick from Breath of the Wild. Anyways, the second thing that's pretty important in concept art is like towns and cities and stuff like this. So when you're like drawing backgrounds, you want to think about like what are you gonna do with like how is your architecture gonna be different from like say something else. Is like what kind of like culture you want to like imitate or like architecture wise. Like this one is like from a game demo from like a game that's like set in India or something. So like all these like really fancy columns and like windows and stuff. This one is like a Western kind of civilization. So like you see like the buildings in this one are really different from that one. So yeah, make sure you like research properly so you don't get stuff wrong, which might just not look good. And it's really nice if you like try to branch out from just really kind of box generic houses and stuff. Add like, make sure you know like, oh, this is from what time, or kind of, you know, what era it's from, and like the atmosphere is giving off. So kind of like if it's a dystopian or like just like this really ragged town or something really orderly. I think there's a video. Oh yeah, no, this is just a link to that like game demo that I found online, which was like India like inspired off of, which was really pretty. And there's just more examples of like towns, and then you also want to think about like what kind of plants you're gonna have. You can have some pretty like unique trees or whatnot, just depending on where in the world you want to like base your game off of and stuff. Yeah, like just like pretty designs and stuff, which might add to your game. And it can be like magical, real, or you can base it off real life. It doesn't really matter as long as you think about designing stuff like that. Oh, so this one is like animals, I guess. So you can have like unique animals and like different designs for all of them, which would be really nice. There's this one show called Made in Abyss that has like a lot of really unique creatures, which would be really interesting to put in concept art because they would be different and it would be like, whoa, this is not how real life looks like. So then enemies. So when you're designing enemies in like a video game, you want to like make sure they all like follow a certain kind of theme. So you don't want them to be all completely the same, but at the same time you want them to sort of follow like the same kind of like, they're all robots here, so yeah, like this is a robot, this one's a robot, they're all robots. In Mario, it's kind of like, oh, this one's like a, it's like they're all really different, but they all have the same like kind of like theme of being like round and kind of really brightly colored. So you're not gonna see like a really scary zombie in Mario. They're usually, their enemies are kind of like intimidating, but like they're still round and kind of like not like horror, like this thing from like Zelda. It's just like a hand or something. Oh, so scary. This is like weapon designing, I guess. It's interesting. It's more interesting if you have something like this one is just iconic, I guess, but it's also cool if you have something unique to your game, like something that people maybe won't use necessarily as a weapon, but if you can make it into a weapon, then that's like pretty interesting. Like it's Cactus Club, or 9 guns, or just a shovel. Yeah. You can also do stuff like this, which is really impressive looking, but you want to think about if it's actually going to be memorable. It's going to be like another run-of-the-mill fantasy weapon, which is fine. It's just something to think about. And then bosses. So, what? Lionels?
Oh, it says.
So when you're designing bosses, you want them to be like fun and memorable, of course. Like they're like the climax to a level, so you want it to be meaningful to like the story that you're going through, and you want it to like stand out compared to every other enemy that's not like too important and not like, yeah. You also want it to be fun, so you have like unique styles of like attacking and whatnot. So yeah, these are like the things you want to think about when you're like drawing backgrounds or just concept art in general. These are the things you would like, I think you're supposed to just like do. So like right now, you can have 10 minutes to just plan out kind of like just a random world. So just draw like stuff from this list here and just kind of like think of a world that could possibly exist but doesn't have to. It's just like the fictional world, kind of like what we did the first week when we did the, what's it called, like we drew stuff from a country. It's like the same concept, but this time you're doing it from do you want paper? Okay, do you want paper?
Yes, please.
Okay, so just like design like some like plants or whatnot. Or just give like 10 minutes, and then after that, we can move on. Do you want to start first? Oh, yeah, I keep asking you, and I need to stop. Yeah. I think I can like, drag this here or something, and then try to draw you. I mean, that's not a good idea. Just I really like this painting. These like little huge mushrooms and stuff. These big mushrooms in the background. And like the like really interesting rock formations and stuff. And then there's always stuff in the foregrounds. Just, yeah. He's like in a log instead of like a regular boat. So it's interesting. Usually people don't swim, like they don't boat in logs anymore. So yeah. Just like brainstorm stuff. Oh yeah. I think Nausicaa is like a good example of like pretty good world building and stuff. Because they have like different enemies and like really unique for like worlds and stuff. Kind of gave me like Made in Abyss is also good. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
It's so good, man. Season 2. Oh god, okay, just like world. Yeah, stuff like this. You can also think about atmosphere. Kind of just, like, you don't usually see trees that are upside down, so it's kind of like, whoa. You don't usually see a huge pit in the middle of a forest. It's kind of go for things that, if you're like doing fictional stuff at least, try to go for things that can't really, it's like not realistic, but at the same time, you want to think about like the laws of the world, I guess. So, oh no, what did I click on? Yeah.
Is Awakening Shop is a concept art?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just like makeup stuff, I guess. From this list. Right here. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like way out there. You can like think of something that you can like base it off something that already exists in like real life. Or you can even just think of like My Hero Academia. And then I guess like what do you think sets that apart from other like superhero shows or other
That's
animes?
a good question.
Think
Is attractive characters?
oh yeah, there's that. That would go into like kind of like NPCs, like really colorful characters kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe think about
But
the world.
if I choose that, I will just end up by drawing Hero Academia.
That's true. How about just Undertale?
It's on the moon.
You could just yeah.
I will think about it.
Like Undertale had like a pretty unique world. Not like
Yeah.
really unique, but it's pretty interesting, I guess.
How long do we have left?
I'll just give you 10 minutes starting now. I'm done. Is everyone done?
We go last.
Oh, okay. 안녕하세요. Are you done? Oh, you got a sheep. That's cool.
I'm trying to go for like an upside down theme. It's just like the water, the sky, the sheep guys are the clouds, and the trees are just like
growing downwards.
Yeah.
Ooh, I see. Cool. That's nice. I was just drawing random things. So I guess I came up with kind of like a flying city sort of thing. There's like the fairy city. There's like a fairy city, and trees like fly up and stuff, and then just random like little random things. Yeah.
I should more environment thing. I do this. I just came up with a character on the game. Like, so this is a game that main character called Evie is going to fishing, and then she collects fish for her food.
You can design unique fish.
Oh yeah, that's
You can design like a tropical
like a
kind
jellyfish.
like a fish with like a jellyfish, like an actual jellyfish.
Oh yeah, I should have done. Yeah, I should have done that.
There's a lot like yeah. Anyways, so yeah, you don't need to necessarily design every single thing in this list, but it's good to have an idea of what is in there. So especially in open world games, because those usually have, I don't want to say the most realistic, but the most just world in the game, so you want to keep in mind for that. Also, Wakanda is a pretty good world building kind of thing. It's Afrofuturism. It's a fancy term for that, but yeah. So I guess I'll just go into how I do backgrounds, because that's what Mari needs to do. So basically, I guess it's just kind of like the stuff I go. So one is just unique-ish, so you don't want to make it like the generic kind of, try not to do like really kind of boring fantasy type stuff. Also, you don't want to do the whole like clouds and then like grass and then like, I don't know, a sun in the corner, you know.
That's mine.
You want to have like a story behind it. So you actually want to be trying to telling a story of behind like, oh, why is there a forest? Like, why is there a forest in Nausicaa? Why are there like bugs everywhere? Like, it all has like a story behind it and stuff. Why is she flying? What else? Oh, no, that's not it. Don't worry about it. Composition. So you want to think about how everything is gonna line up, like how everything is gonna look. So you kind of just like sometimes people will draw everything kind of going like this, sort of. So if your drawing's kind of like a mountain, maybe you want all the mountains to be like going this way, like that. I don't know, like mountains, giving that kind of like slope, and you can have like a person looking out into the distance, with like a cane and then a badass cape, because we all need that. And then there's like a stuff like that. So this composition is really like this way kind of thing. So just kind of think about stuff like that. You can also do like the whole like, well, maybe there's like a gem in the middle and it's like really bright, and then have like sort of a cave with stalagmites. Kind of giving that you just pretend these are stalagmites, and then you can have like people looking up at it, like, wow, oh my god, it's this kind of cool gem. So this is kind of giving, like, composition wise, it's kind of like drawing your eyes to the center, kind of like to the center, like that. You do like cool stuff with it. Another one is like complementary stuff, so like maybe something is going this way, something's going that way. Oh, I was just showed the Fire Emblem. This is not really, this is just composition wise though, but stop it. This is a good example of everyone's going this way. Why is it so why is it so blurry? Okay, so everyone's going this way. Everyone's got their like pointing to the left, and then Lucina's here going to the right. So that's good for composition, stuff like that. Yeah. So you can keep that in mind when you're making stuff. Oh my gosh. Lighting and color. So it's totally okay to use references. When I was drawing, like, whenever I'm drawing, I always want to use references because people usually have better ideas of what they're doing compared to me. And also the last one is to do backgrounds before characters. So it's just you know, like, yeah, I like drawing characters, right? But I like drawing characters too, but when you want to make them go into the background well enough, you kind of want to draw like the overall thing first. Like this one that I drew is kind of like a circle thing too. And you also have like kind of like these statues are kind of like architecture things, so they're kind of telling a story and all. These trees are just kind of there's this kind of like circle composition, I guess. For this one, I kind of just took a screenshot from the game I was playing, and then just added the character into that. Am I streaming? I am streaming. So yeah, you can always take pictures in real life and use those as references too, and that way you don't get like any mad people being like, oh my god, you copied somewhere, because you can copy from real life, and you know, you can't get in trouble for that, stuff like that. Any other good ones? That's my portfolio. I mean, I guess this one. Yeah, there's like architecture stuff. Sort of. Oh yeah, this one doesn't even have the character in it. I drew a character in here, like at the really end. But yeah, you should draw everything else first before you add the character. Like, you can draw like a stick figure of the character just to like have an idea of, oh, they're gonna stand here or whatever. But like when you're rendering, you want to be rendering the entire picture. Like when you're drawing the whole thing, you don't want to be like zoomed in, and then like, so you only like concentrate on like, oh, their face or something, and then you forget like how it might look to the rest of the picture. So examples. Umbrella. I don't know. I guess this one. Oh yeah, another example you can do is, see, this is the rough draft I have, and if you want to make it look bigger, this is like one of the tips I have. You can just go like this, and then go like that, and then voila, it looks bigger now. All because you stretched it a little bit, and now it looks wider, it looks bigger, like that's what I did. It looked like this before, and then you stretch it so it feels bigger. Oh look, she's here now. Yeah, I drew this is the last thing I drew, was the character right there. Everything else was before. So yeah. Yeah, so when you're thinking about doing backgrounds, you want to do like the entire picture and not just focus on the character, even though it might be funner to do. I guess I could just draw this one and then see how it goes. So what I do is, since I have like the basic idea down, I just start rendering basically, just basically like making stuff. Also, there's this thing in there's a thing in Photoshop where you can warp stuff. So if you go to deform, and then you can make things bigger and smaller. You can tilt it like that. Make this bigger, make that smaller, kind of thing. You could just even go like that, and then maybe have like a go back, like a grassy kind of place here. So, like that. And if everything's going that way, maybe you want something going this way as well. So maybe I'll just add a tree here. Just kind of like hanging. And here I'll just like do this a little bit. Oh, also when you're you want stuff that's farther in the distance to be lighter. So you want it to be like the front stuff is like darker and stuff in colors. Not necessarily like yeah. So it gives you that kind of like sense of like distance basically. So I could do that and then add clouds. So I have kind of like a blue sort of thing going on, bluish greenish. So maybe I want to have like something red in the background, maybe like clouds or something. I don't know, I'm just doing shit. Just how it goes. I'm gonna put this guy on like a separate layer so I don't have to worry about him. And then, at least for the time being, and then kind of carve out, use the eraser to like carve out like rocks and stuff. Oh no, it looks really bad on I forgot the colors are different, so I have to just
It doesn't look bad on the stream.
It huh?
It won't look bad on the stream, but it's from your computer.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm just gonna look up there for now. Oh no. Oh no. Yes I do. I'm just gonna hide her messages. Lol. Yeah. Is there any like questions you have?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
What are your questions, Mari?
Cut the stream. And then
do you have any questions?
Don't you ever wanna drop cactus more river? But it's so small and it's so sad.
Okay, okay, what I can do is I can have another person right here. No, it wouldn't look good. I mean, what you can do is you can just have a really big canvas. Like, I don't know, go like 300. Oh god. So then you still get to detail him, you know?
Like compared to the whole picture, your character is small, so you have to zoom up to see your character.
Yeah.
But don't you wanna even like your character appears the biggest and he's the main thing in picture?
But I don't think that's the point for concept art. Concept art is to show the world, not exactly the character. If that would be for like character designing. So you would draw the character big. I mean, for this one, I drew like him.
Oh, I see. Yeah, like this.
But the background is yeah. This one too. I mean, there's still the focus, but it's still a background, I guess. So I could draw them bigger. It's just
okay. So
not for this one. It depends on what you're drawing and stuff. I guess for what you might want to do. I guess just I mean for this one I did draw like the characters first. But yeah, this one I drew the character first too. And then I added all the stuff. But yeah. I could, if I wanted to, I could. I guess I could. Like put them, drag them here and just have them be on this side, I guess.
Oh.
That would work. And you would still have a background, it would just... Yeah, that works.
I see, I see.
Yeah. And then it's all just kind of like rendering. Usually what I do, I like use the eraser to like cut away at it, kind of. And kind of create the like rocky shapes. Like that. Kind of, you want to kind of do it randomly, kind of. So that it looks more natural, I guess. You don't want to like spend too much time on just like making it look super what's it called? Like super detailed, otherwise it might not look the way you want it to look. And then you just like start blending and stuff. I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. Also kind of have like a idea of like where the shadows are coming from, maybe. Yeah, just make sure. Just make sure like the colors are. If I were to make this into black and white. Saturation and just go like that. You can see there's still kind of like a what's it called? Yeah, there's like a hue to it. So like you don't want things, you want like to have like black things in the front and then like lighter things in the back. For this one, I would make them kind of like shadow. Oops. You can start doing them. So just go like this. See, everything's going this way. I want the what's it called? The staff to. What am I doing? Kind of go like that. And you can just do like a really quick sketch and then resize them. So maybe I want them to be a little smaller like that. So I can like. And have their like cape like. Ooh. No, it's too big. Maybe they have a hat on. Maybe it's a witch, so they have like a hat. I don't know. How do I draw a broomstick? I don't know. I'll just draw a staff for now. Yeah. Just kind of adding stuff. Kind of creating a character already. Oh. And then maybe I want like a city, maybe down here. So I can like do like brown like houses and stuff. It's kind of like, and this would be really small, but like, kind of just like, I don't know. I'm just, oh, it looks really, it doesn't look good on the. No, I need to realize that what's on my screen doesn't look nice. Like what's on the screen doesn't look nice up here. But even if I'm just looking at the screen up here, it still looks okay on the, yeah. I'm just gonna blur this for now. Wait a second. Oh yeah, also for skies, you don't want it to be just one color. So what I do for skies, I usually have like a dark blue up here, and then you like blur it in a little bit. Kind of like, and then like at the bottom, make it a little brighter. So maybe I want to make this feel bigger. I'm just gonna go like this. Wait a second. How do I? Okay, whatever. Take that and zoom that across too. Actually, no, I'm just gonna take that. Nope. There you go. And then maybe I could even just add another thing here, so then it still looks like there's mountains. And where's the character right here? Oh hey, it looks good, actually. Yeah. Oh, I could even make it into a choco. I don't know what her hair looks like. There you go. And then you can even have like 2 of her friends here. Like,
Shinso.
like hi, it's Shinso, because his hair is like that.
So cute.
And then, yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot the bird that I like destroyed. Just have birds in the back. Oh yeah, also birds. You want to do 2 like this, and then 1 far away like that. So it feels very even, I guess. So it's like 2 birds close to each other, and then 1 far away.
Set up parents and one child indoors.
Yeah, maybe 1 here is small, and this one's a little bigger. Yeah, these are clouds, I guess. These are just clouds. Oh, also you can make clouds orange. I like doing that sometimes. So they like stand out more. There's also cloud brushes. You can use a cloud brush. You just draw like clouds really easily. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it, I guess. That's like how I do backgrounds.
I wanna draw background.
Yeah. You can do it, Mario. I believe in you. Yeah, so this is the